Guelph and Wellington County drivers who have already spoken with us or a different detailer shop about ceramic coatings, those who have maybe bought a car maybe from a dealership and got upsold regarding a ceramic coating, or maybe you've had a friend or family member that keeps on harping about getting a ceramic coating, this video is for you. In today's video, we're going to talk about what a ceramic coating is, what it does, why you might need to look into it, and why it costs what it does. Let's get started. So a ceramic coating, which is a bottle like this, is a polymer liquid that when you apply it on your paint and you let it cure, it turns into a glass. It's a layer of glass, effectively, that kind of shields it from the elements, from the UV rays, a few of the bad stuff, which we'll talk about later today. This could be applied on the entirety of your paint, any clear-coated areas that of your trim. It can also be applied to your glass and rims too. You'd be surprised. It depends on the coating, but it can also be applied on glass. However, if you ever look into a detail shop, make sure to ask what parts of the car will be coated, because sometimes they're a bit unclear, right? They might not coat the plastic trim, they might not coat this or that. So make sure every detail shop is different, so just make sure to ask those questions. Proper ceramic coating bottles is about 1 to 2 ounce sizes, okay? So if you ever go to Walmart or Canadian Tire and you see, the 16 ounce, 32 ounce, 1 liter, half a liter bottle that says ceramic coating, it's not a true coating, right? I know when we first got started, there's this company, amazing company by the Turtle Wax Hybrid Ceramic Spray Coating. Coating and in the word sealant tend to kind of blur, unfortunately. A true coating actually lasts you at least 1 year, right? So if a sealant says it's a ceramic coating that only lasts 6 months, it's a sealant, it's not a coating, okay? And when you go to a detail shop, if you see them using a spray coating, it's not a real coating. This is the real stuff. So what the heck does a ceramic coating even do in the first place, right? Why even consider it, right? Well, there are 3 key reasons: hydrophobic properties, enhanced gloss, and significant protection of the paint. And I'll break down each one of these in a second, because you'd be surprised. The benefits extend very far. So let's start with this: hydrophobic properties. You can kind of tell from the name, hydrophobic basically means it does not like water, right? So what you'll see here is I might have a photo of my employee's car. We did a Honda Accord a couple months ago. We did half of his car just to show him the benefits of coating. And you'll see that one part beats up water quite a bit well, and the other one's kind of more sheeting area or whatnot. And so with the benefits of why you might want to look into hydrophobics is because, first and foremost, looks nice. Who doesn't like water beating off the car? It looks nice. But second, water stays there less often, which can be helpful, which actually helps you with kind of preventing rust. Not as an undercoating spray, but rather because of its hydrophobic properties, water tends to accumulate less often there. And so, as we know, rust is built when there's a lot of water. And so that kind of helps prevent that. It's not going to make it completely dry. Make sure, when you wash your car, to dry your car, right? But it's going to be easier to dry your car as well. So let's say you take it to a car wash, God forbid, or you wash your car yourself at home. Because of the hydrophobic properties as well, especially during the colder times of the year, drying the car is a lot easier. It's a lot safer as well. And why it's safer is because, the reason it's hydrophobic as well is because of the slickness of the surface. You'll find that when you ever rub your hand against it, it's going to feel as smooth as a baby's bottom or a glass, you can say. And so what that means for you is whenever you're doing a contact wash, whenever there's some grit involved, whenever you're drying a car, if there's ever a piece of rock that, it happens, right? You can detail a car and there's still some dirt that was in the crack or crevice of the vehicle. If you ever dry the car, it's going to be less of a chance of it scratching because the dirt kind of glides on the smooth surface compared to, for example, if your car hasn't been properly maintained, there's no sealant, no wax, no coating, hasn't been clay barred, it's going to kind of rub and scrubbing against it and create more scratches. So that's the beautiful thing about hydrophobic properties. And then one last thing about hydrophobics, which I absolutely love, is so this video is being recorded on November 25th, I believe. We're just about to enter winter. And what you'll find is if you have a car ceramic coated, when you eventually get that snow on your vehicle, it's going to be quite a bit easier. It's not going to be a night and day difference, but it's going to be noticeably, it's going to be lightly easier to actually remove the snow. You don't have to put much pressure as well. And so that's going to be helpful during the winter, so you don't have to remove as much snow. Snow isn't going to accumulate as much, again, because of the hydrophobic properties. And when you do remove it, it's safer because it glides easier. And they can also apply on the glass. It's not gonna last you anywhere near as long as glass because of the abrasion of at least in the front windshield. The side glass might last a bit longer, but the front windshield, it will last you like just a few months just because of the abrasion and the wiper blades typically have. And then finally, whenever you're driving at night or driving during a rainy day, if you have your front windshield coated, the water beats up quite a bit, and so you rarely have to use your wiper blades, extending your ceramic coating's lifespan, but also make it easier and more visible to see. So that kind of concludes the hydrophobics chapter. The next chapter we're going to be going to is the enhanced gloss. So self-explanatory. It's going to give you that shine that wax typically gets you, or sealants, without the hassle of reapplying that wax every single time, right? You'd be surprised. You would probably think that someone who cares about their car needs to get a coating. That's true. But someone who also doesn't know really much about outside detailing, that person needs the coating even more. Because if you take care of your car, I had a client the other day, or a friend actually. He had a C8 Corvette 2025, beautiful car by the way, blacked out, things worth 100K or whatever. And he told me he bought like the Meguiar's, or sorry, he bought the Turtle Wax hybrid ceramic sealant / coating that lasts you about 6 months or so when he applies it. And he does it like every week, by the way. And so I'm like, if you do that every time, if you want to do that, sure. You don't need to get a coating. You don't have to get a coating. It's going to be more helpful, but you don't have to. You already have a lot of protection involved in there. But on the other hand, you have my sister who has a Hyundai Kona. She hasn't washed her car in 5 months, right? And when she does go to a car wash, it's Petro Canada. We all know, like, it's a touchless wash. There may not be a level of protection. It could be a basic one. So for her, it could be like years of lack of protection on her paint. So, and she maybe doesn't care enough to like put a wax every week on her own, right? It's too much work for her. So that's where ceramic coating is very pleasurable, in the sense that once you put it on, you don't have to keep on topping it off, right? You have these companies that say, also detail shops, unfortunately, say like, hey, once you get a ceramic coating, now I have to put a topper on top every 6 months. Brother, you have a ceramic coating in the first place. It's helpful. It's not a bad thing to put a topper on top, but you don't have to, right? So ceramic coating is really cool. Like if you get an 8-year coating, which we offer, for example, you put it on, assuming you don't completely abuse your car like my sister. Let's say you wash it once every month. Sure. Car wash, whatever, touchless. Go to a touchless, whatever. When you do that, it's going to last you several years. It might not last you 8 years because you're abusing your vehicle, maybe like 7 years or so, but it's going to give you 7 years of protection and keep a shine of hydrophobics and protection from the elements, which we'll dive shortly here, without having to worry about it once. So, which leads me on to my last topic in terms of the protection. This is probably the biggest one actually of them all. It's chemical protection. And you're probably thinking, chemical protection? It's not like I'm spilling acid on my car every day. Is that the only thing that's on your paint? Think about it. Every time there's a bird dropping on your paint, every time there's pollen, every time there's a tree sap, every time there's a bug gut, every time there's salt on your paint, the longer you let it sit, it degrades your clear coat, which is your outermost paint, and damages it over time. It dulls your finish and could actually result in like your clear coat being burned through. I've seen this multiple times with customers who had a tree sap on their paint, or a most common tree sap, honestly. But it can happen with bug guts as well. Bug guts is common, and then of course bird droppings. Those are bad for your paint. Bird dropping is acidic, bug guts is acidic, and then tree sap is either basic or acidic. But if you let it sit on your paint for too long, it's gonna burn through the clear coat, which is the outermost layer that gives you that shine. And what you'll notice is, once you finally remove, let's say a month from now, you notice after taking it to a car wash or whatever, once you finally remove that tree sap, you're gonna notice that even though tree sap's gone, there's still gonna be like a residue. That's it's not a residue of the actual tree sap, but the paint itself is damaged. Now, the only way to remove it, there's no chemical that can remove it for you. It's literally, the paint is clean and clear, but it's just damaged. It's faded. It's burned through. The only way is to polish the car, and you have to buff it off, which, by the way, I don't recommend buffing your car often. You're eliminating clear coat. You're sanding down paint. So that's another problem, right? So what a ceramic coating does for you is It doesn't completely fix that problem altogether or eliminates that problem altogether, but what it does is that it extends your time frame significantly, right? For example, if I had about a week or so of a tree sap being on my paint before it starts etching in, with a ceramic coating, maybe about a month, right? So maybe a few months. And so that's where you can see those benefits. And if you spill like, and this happens a lot with some of my clients as well. I don't know why the minivans typically have them. The side view mirror here, if you can see, the side view mirror, for example, of this beautiful, I think it's a Charger or Challenger. Sometimes there's like an acid drip mark you can see, like maybe because if you take it to a touchless car wash, they don't completely dry the vehicle off. There tends to be like a residue underneath this side view mirror that kind of it's permanent. That could be from an acid spill or like a dangerous chemical like the grease or whatnot that's kind of baked into the sun. Ceramic coating will do wonders against that as well, right? A lot of the times, my customers think that ceramic coating will make their vehicle scratch resistant or scratch proof. That might not be true. It's going to give it scratch resistance because, like I mentioned, the dirt slides easier, right? We have another video that I might send you a link to about the common frequently answered questions regarding ceramic coatings. That whenever we're done this video, we'll watch this together. And one last thing, for Guelph for people in Guelph and Wellington County, salt and water spots. Coatings do an absolute amazing job on that, especially salt in the winter. You'd be surprised. People think to myself, when I first got started, and my dad said the same thing, nobody's gonna wash their car in the winter. That's what I thought. Until, if you ever go to a valet car wash, cool company by the way, awesome company. They wash cars and whatever, like automated ones. Sometimes scratches, but it is what it is, right? You get what you pay for. If you go to valet car wash in the winter, it is the busiest time of the entire year. You'll be shocked. The line's like 15 cars long, by the way. 15 cars long. Because people want to get that salt off their paint, the undercarriage spray, and then maybe some snow and ice that's still remaining on their vehicle that they wasn't able to completely get rid of. And so that is very important because there's an understanding that people don't like that salt that people put on the roads during the winter on their paint. And then ceramic coating does an exceptionally good job against that. Now, last question. This is the fun one. Why the heck is a ceramic coating so expensive? Okay, so people think ceramic coating is like $100 or something like that. Guys, what are you doing? If that was the case, just go to Walmart and buy the sealant from I don't know, whatever. So there's a lot of misconceptions in terms of the amount of effort it's taking. So here we have this is a ceramic sealant. This is going to give you about 5 to 6 months of protection on average. It's not as powerful as a ceramic coating. So it's like it can be removed by chemicals. It can be removed relatively easily, even with isopropyl alcohol. Ceramic coatings, you can't do that. At least a good proper coating can't do that. You'll have to. The only way to truly make sure you can remove a ceramic coating is proper is to buff off the car, basically paint correction, sanding down the car, quote unquote, right? And so this and this are not the same, guys. Okay, these are not the same thing. Okay, and so what I mean by that is, people think that ceramic coating and a ceramic sealant are the same thing, and they think that it's fair enough because it has the word ceramic. Sure, but you can see this is a 1 ounce bottle. This is a half a liter bottle. Quite a bit of a difference. This is like this bottle right here, the 1 ounce bottle. It's like 5 to 6 times more expensive, by the way. So significantly more concentrated, it's more powerful, it's going to last you longer. We have a 3-year and a 5-year and 8-year coating that will last you around those time frames, and they come with warranty as well. And so a lot of the times when I get a customer who is inquiring about a ceramic coating for the first time, they think it's like going to be a couple $100. And I'll be upfront with you. If I were to apply this coating with no other preparation, I might charge $300, $400. But the reason why a ceramic coating is so expensive, by the way, is this. The preparation is the most expensive part about it. And what I mean by that is this. So with the sealant, you can get away with, after you wash a car, you can probably spray a sealant and that's it. And by the time, the sealant doesn't last too long to the point that it's important for the paint to be clean. So just to give you context, if you get a ceramic coating compared to a sealant, here's what we're going to do differently, okay? First and foremost, First one, we're gonna clay bar the car. We use a clay towel, same thing. It's just better technology nowadays. It doesn't mar the paint. And what this does for you, the first thing is we wash the car, and then we decontaminate the vehicle. Decontamination means, also known as clay bar, is when you wake up in the morning. Do you know how some when you wash your face, there's like this face soap that has like a exfoliating kind of feature, right? That kind of scrubs the pores and kind of cleanses your face from like all the oil and the minerals and possibly debris on your paint on your face. So think of the clay towel or clay bar uh, on your paint as the same as an exfoliating face wash on your face. So we're exfoliating your paint, we're cleaning and we're deep cleaning the paint to get rid of that contaminants that's embedded. A lot of the time, it could be some maybe small embedded iron orange chips. You'd be surprised. White cars have that. It could be small like stone. It could be like embedded like dirt and grime that a regular wash might not get out. This is an exfoliator, and the reason we want to do this before applying a coating is because it's like building a castle on a foundation of sand. You want to make sure the area is super clean before you apply a coating, because if you apply a coating on a car that has, let's say an old wax, it has a bunch of debris and dirt, even though, wash the car, it's not going to last you very long. What do you think is going to happen once the wax kind of goes away? Once that dirt and debris kind of goes away possibly, the coating goes away with it too. And so this is especially important if you're looking for a good quality result and your coating to last, which I presume you guys are looking for that. So what we'll do is, obviously, after we wash the car, we do the clay bar, and then from there, you're thinking, okay, now we're going to apply the coating, right? Think again. The next step for us would be to polish the car. Polish as in kind of sanding it down. I know my friends from the Asian continent think polishing as in adding a shine. No, not necessarily. Polishing as in, so we're going to polish your vehicle. So this is a polisher that on a foam pad, whatever, and this is our polish. So for those who have never buffed off, this is another word for buffing off or polishing a car before, think of this as liquid sandpaper, all right? And the reason we do this, so we put our polish onto our pad, and then we do on the paint. The entire car will be lightly polished. It's not a paint correction to get rid of all the scratches. It's just getting rid of the smaller scratches, but it's more about actually cleaning the paint. And so what I mean by that is, remember the story I talked about the wax that's being on the paint? If we apply a coating that has an old wax, or any sort of wax or sealant that is not a coating, what's going to happen is once the wax or the sealant goes away, the coating goes with it. And so when you polish the paint, we're not really caring too much about the paint correction itself in terms of making the paint look shiny. That's a bonus. We'll polish the car and we'll make it look nice, right? Get rid of as much scratch as we can. Make it a bit more of a pop, if you will, and then we apply the coating. So because once you apply a ceramic coating, you want to make sure you don't want to buff your car off again, because the only way to remove a ceramic coating is to buff it off. So, and by the way, guys, if you have any other questions, just feel free to comment down. I'll try to answer all I can. And so the reason we buff your car again or polish it is to kind of remove the old waxes, old sealants, so that when you apply the coating, it properly bonds and lasts you a long time and does not have a coating failure. Now, one of the questions I asked is, hey, I just have a 2025 brand new car, or 2026 these days, brand new car. I bought it straight from the dealership and I take it towards you. Do I still have to have a one-step paint correction, or we call it one-step paint enhancement, paint correction, same thing. Do we still have a one-step paint enhancement? And my answer is yes and no. And so what I mean by that is, a lot of the times, so I worked with one of the dealerships in Guelph a couple months ago, and what they typically do is, whenever you buy a brand new car, the detailer there, they wash your car and they shine your tire, and then they put a wax on your paint. And if they put a wax on your paint, you need to get a one-step paint correction, one-step enhancement, because you need to remove that as soon as possible. So unless you're 100% sure that no detailer put a sealant or a wax or a paint on your sealant or wax or whatever on your paint before you take it towards us, you do need to paint correction, because you want to make sure the things gets done right. Plus, it's still a tiny bit of shine on top, so it doesn't hurt. So in terms of pricing, so this is why you get a lot more the variability in prices. I've seen some ads like I don't know, it's just silly. I've seen some ads of the guys who are doing a $299 ceramic coating. Sure, go for it. If you got a 2005 Toyota Corolla, go for it. But if you have a 2025 BMW is brand new, 2026 Mercedes, right? Or even a Toyota, like brand new Corolla, right? Or a brand new Charger, or like 2017 Honda CR-V, or nicer truck going to take care of. Make sure to ask the right questions when you're inquiring about coatings, because if they don't give you much information, they're just trying to sell you. Okay. So here's one last thing here before I hop off today. Whenever you're inquiring about ceramic coating, ask them these three key questions, okay, in Guelph and Wellington County before making a decision. First and foremost, are they using a sealant or a coating? How long will the coating last? Is it the one on the spray? Is it a spray coating or it's a one of those 1 ounce bottles? That's very important. Okay. Second question is, will it come with decontamination and paint correction? Or you can ask it like, what are the preparation steps? Like, will it come with a clay bar and a paint correction? If they say no to both of them, we're on the other way. They're just trying to sell you a coating for a cheap price. They're just trying to rip you off, right? Third question is, what are the reviews? Take a look at the reviews as well, right? If they have a bunch of 1-star reviews, consider maybe a better option of a company that may be more, suitable. Or rather, the fourth question, bonus question, what are their warranties? Does it come with a warranty, right? If any detailer who's comfortable with and confident in their service in terms of the coating, they should not feel uncomfortable, giving a warranty. Unless you're gonna completely abuse the car, that's a different story. But because if I have a 3-year warranty and I don't know if it comes with and I don't offer a paint correction or a clay bar, that coating is not going to last you 3 years. It's not. It really isn't. And so you'd be surprised. Coating can actually last you more than 3 years or less than 3 years. There are ways where you can make actually a 3-year coating last you a lifetime, and there's a way you can make an 8-year coating last you just a few minutes. And so it just depends on how you take care of your car. With that being said, guys, make sure to if you have any questions, give me a comment on the YouTube channel right below. I wish you the best of luck in keeping your car clean and shiny, and have a wonderful day.